If your Excel totals won't change when you edit a number, you're not crazy. Excel is probably in manual calculation mode. That one setting can make a spreadsheet feel broken, especially when formulas look correct, but results stay stuck. In this video, we'll learn how to confirm the calculation mode, switch it back to automatic, and fix the common reasons it keeps flipping back. We'll also cover what to do when only part of a workbook recalculates, or when some formulas update, but others don't. And yes, we'll talk about the quick ways to force a recalculation when you're in a hurry. The goal is simple. You change a value, and Excel updates like you expect. No mystery, no close and reopen rituals. By the end, you'll have a short checklist you can run in under a minute whenever Excel stops updating. Let's start with the fastest way to verify what's actually happening. Next step. First, let's confirm it's really a calculation mode issue, not a formula mistake. The classic sign is this: you change an input cell, but dependent cells don't change at all. Another sign is that the same workbook works fine on another computer, or it worked yesterday and now it doesn't. Also, you might notice that pressing Enter finishes the edit, but nothing else updates. If you're using sum, XLOOKUP, if, or any normal function, and the logic is right, yet results are frozen, that points strongly to manual mode. One more clue is performance behavior. In manual mode, Excel feels snappy when you edit, because it's not recalculating. That can be intentional in huge models, but it's confusing if you didn't choose it. Now let's locate the setting that controls this for the entire Excel application session. Next step. Excel's calculation mode is controlled from the Formulas area, under Calculation Options. The key detail is that this is an application-level setting, not just a single worksheet toggle. So if you open a workbook that was saved in manual mode, Excel can adopt that mode for your session, and other workbooks you open afterward may behave the same way. To fix it, set Calculation Options to Automatic. If you use data tables or certain what-if tools, there's also an option called Automatic except for data tables, which can be fine, but it's not the same as fully automatic. After you switch to automatic, do one full recalculation to refresh everything. That ensures you're not looking at old cached results. Next, we'll cover the fastest force recalc commands, because sometimes you need a quick rescue before you change settings. Next step. Even with automatic selected, you'll want to know the manual recalculation shortcuts, because they help you diagnose what's stuck. The basic recalculation is F9, which tells Excel to calculate formulas again. Then there's Shift plus F9, which recalculates only the active worksheet, useful for isolating a problem. For a deeper refresh, Control plus Alt plus F9 forces a full calculation of all open workbooks, even if Excel thinks nothing changed. And the nuclear option is Control plus Alt plus Shift plus F9, which rebuilds the dependency tree. Excel relearns which cells depend on which. That last one can fix weird cases where Excel's internal tracking got confused, but it can take longer on large files. If these shortcuts fix the numbers temporarily, but the workbook goes stale again, the next step is figuring out why manual mode keeps coming back. Next step. A common frustration is, you set automatic, it works, then later it's back to manual. The most common cause is opening another workbook that was saved in manual mode. Excel can carry that mode across workbooks during the session. Another cause is macros. Some workbooks include VBA that intentionally switches to manual to speed up processing, then switches back. But if the macro error is out, it may never switch back. Add-ins can also change calculation settings, especially tools that import data or run models. And sometimes it's simply that you saved the file while it was in manual mode, so it reopens that way. The fix is part habit and part prevention. Check the mode after opening critical files, and if you use macros, ensure they restore calculation mode even when something fails. Next, we'll walk through a safe macro pattern that prevents getting stuck in manual mode. Next step. If you use VBA, the best practice is to store the current calculation mode, switch to manual only while the macro runs, then restore the original mode in a cleanup step. The important part is making sure the cleanup runs even if the macro hits an error. In plain language, you want a finally step. Many people write code that sets Application.Calculation to manual, does work, then sets it back to automatic at the end. But if the macro stops early, Excel stays manual, and you're left wondering why formulas froze. A safer approach is capture the existing mode, use error handling, and in the exit block, restore calculation, screen updating, and events. Even if you don't write code, this matters because you might be using someone else's template with macros built in. Next, let's cover a different trap, cases where Excel is automatic, but some cells still don't update because the formulas themselves aren't recalculating. Next step. Sometimes the workbook is in automatic mode. You press F9, and yet certain results still don't change. That's often because Excel doesn't think the formula depends on anything that changed. The most common example is a formula that references text numbers, or values that look like dates but are stored as text. Another example is when you use volatile functions, like now or rand, and expect them to update only sometimes, but they update on every recalculation, creating confusion about what updating means. Also watch for formulas that reference external links. If the source workbook is closed, Excel may keep the last known value until links are updated. And if iterative calculation is involved, used for circular references, results can appear stuck because Excel is converging to a limit. Next, we'll go deeper into one of the biggest silent causes, formulas stored as text, and how to spot and fix them correctly. Next step. A surprisingly common issue is that the formula isn't actually a formula. It's text that looks like one. This happens if the cell is formatted as text before you type the formula, or if there's a leading apostrophe. In that case, Excel will display something like equals sum, but it won't calculate it. Another variation is when numbers are stored as text, so arithmetic doesn't behave normally, and dependent formulas can give unexpected results. The quick checks are simple. Click the cell and see if Excel shows the formula as plain text, or if the alignment looks like text, often left aligned by default. To fix it, change the format to general, then re-enter the formula, or use a convert to number method for inputs. Once the data types are real, recalculation becomes predictable again. Next, we'll talk about calculation options that look harmless but can limit updates, like automatic except for data tables. Next step. Excel actually has more than 2 calculation behaviors. Fully automatic recalculates whenever a dependent value changes. Manual recalculates only when you trigger it. Then there's automatic except for data tables, which is designed for what-if analysis tables that can be expensive to compute. If you don't use data tables, that middle option can still be fine, but it can confuse you if part of the model relies on a data table and doesn't refresh. Another setting worth knowing is iterative calculation. If enabled, Excel will allow circular references and iterate to a solution, but it can also make results sensitive to iteration limits and the last calculation state. The practical takeaway is, for most everyday workbooks, choose fully automatic and keep iterative calculation off, unless you specifically need it. Next, we'll cover a clean troubleshooting flow you can follow when someone sends you a workbook and says it's not updating, but you don't know what they changed. Next step. Here's a reliable troubleshooting flow that keeps you from guessing. Step 1. Confirm calculation mode and switch to automatic. Step 2. Run a full recalculation using Ctrl plus Alt plus F9. Step 3. Check whether the problem is global or local by recalculating only one sheet with Shift plus F9. Step 4. Test one broken cell by editing the formula and pressing Enter, even without changing it, to force Excel to reparse it. Step 5. Check for external links, circular references, or data tables that might be excluded from normal recalculation. And Step 6. Look for text-formatted formulas or text numbers. This sequence is fast, and it separates Excel settings problems from data and formula problems. If you do these steps in order, you usually find the cause in a couple minutes. Next, we'll talk about performance, why people switch to manual mode in the first place, and how to keep Excel responsive without breaking recalculation. Next step. Manual calculation isn't evil. It's often used because a workbook is heavy. Thousands of formulas, volatile functions, large ranges, or complex lookups. In those cases, automatic can feel sluggish, especially if every small edit triggers a full chain of recalculation. The better solution is usually to optimize the workbook instead of living in manual mode. Start by reducing full column references when you don't need them. Limit volatile functions like offset and indirect where possible. Prefer structured ranges and efficient lookup patterns. and be careful with array formulas that spill across large areas. If you truly need manual mode for a big model, build a habit. Switch to manual only during bulk changes, then trigger a full recalculation and switch back before saving. That way, the next time you open the file, you're not surprised by frozen numbers. Next, we'll wrap up with a quick prevention plan so this doesn't keep happening across different workbooks. Next step. To prevent this issue long-term, think in terms of defaults and handoffs. If you share files, assume someone will open them after working in manual mode. So before you send a workbook, set it to automatic, run a full recalculation, and save. If you receive a workbook that behaves oddly, check calculation mode first before you touch any formulas. If macros are involved, make sure they restore settings even on errors, especially calculation mode. And if you work with multiple workbooks at once, remember that opening a manual mode file can affect your session. A simple habit is to verify calculation options whenever you start important work. That's the difference between a spreadsheet you trust and one you constantly second-guess. If you want, I can also provide a one-page checklist you can keep as a note for your team. For now, use the steps you learned, and you'll get Excel updating reliably again. If this helped, subscribe for more practical Excel fixes, and comment. Do you prefer automatic mode or manual mode for large workbooks? Subscribe to keep optimizing your workflow and get back more of your time.